Simplicity, faith, and truth. These, among 8 other powerful virtues, are daily principles of the common Samaritan. However, these ethical vows did not come to be so popular by chance. It was through the efforts of a single man that these ideas became the standard of life as we know it. Welcome to the True Hollywood story of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Gandhi was born on October 2, 1869, into a Hindu family in Porbandar, Gujarat, India. His father was the chief minister of the city of Porbandar. He was 13 years old when he married a girl the same age as his parents' arrangement. Gandhi studied law at the University of Bombay for 1 year, and then at the University College London, from which he graduated in 1891. His reading of Civil Disobedience by David Thoreau inspired his devotion to the principle of nonviolence. He returned to Bombay and practiced law there for a year, then went to South Africa to work for a firm in Natal. There, Gandhi experienced racism. He was thrown off a train while holding a valid first-class ticket and pushed to third class. He was later beaten by a stagecoach driver for refusing to travel on footboard to make room for a European passenger. He was also banned from many hotels because of his race. In 1894, Gandhi founded the Natal Indian Congress. They focused on the British discrimination in South Africa. In 1897, Gandhi brought his wife and 4 children to South Africa. He was then attacked by a mob of racists. He refused to press charges on any of the members of the mob. Gandhi became the first non-white lawyer to be admitted to the bar in South Africa. During the South African War, Gandhi was a stretcher bearer. He organized the Indian Ambulance Corps of 300 Indian volunteers and hundreds of associates to serve wounded black South Africans. He was decorated for his courage at the Battle of Spion Kop. In 1906, Gandhi for the first time organized a non-violent resistance against the Transvaal government's Registration Act. He called upon his fellow Indians to defy the new law in a non-violent manner and suffer the punishment for doing so. He was jailed on many occasions along with thousands of his supporters.
Peaceful Indian protests caused a public outcry and forced the South African general to negotiate a compromise with Gandhi. However, Gandhi was required to support the British in World War I, and thus encouraged other Indians to join the army and defend the British Empire in compliance with the full citizenship requirements. Back in India, Gandhi became active in the struggle for Indian independence. He spoke at the conventions of the Indian National Congress, becoming one of its leaders. In 1918, Gandhi opposed the increasing taxes from the British during a devastating famine. He was arrested for organizing civil resistance of tens of thousands of landless farmers and serfs. In jail, Gandhi was on a hunger strike in solitary confinement with a famine-stricken farmer. Hundreds of thousands of his supporters gathered around the jail. Gandhi was addressed by the people as Mahatma, or Great Soul, and Bapu, or Father. He was released. Then he represented the farmers in negotiation with the British administration. His effort worked. The tax collection was suspended and all prisoners were released. He declared that all violence was evil after the Amritsar massacre of 379 civilians by British troops, which traumatized. As a leader of the Indian National Congress Party, Gandhi launched a campaign for independence and non-cooperation with the British authorities. He urged Indians to replace British goods with their own fabrics and goods. He was imprisoned from 1922 until 1924, being released after an appendectomy. From March 12 to April 6, 1930, Gandhi made the famous Salt March to Dandi. He walked on foot on the ocean to protest against the British salt monopoly and salt tax. He led thousands of Indians on a 240 mile to the village of Dandi on the ocean to make their own salt. For 23 days, a 2-mile-long procession was watched by every resident along the journey. On April 6th, Gandhi raised a grain of salt and declared, "With this, I am shaking the foundations of the British Empire." Gandhi's plan worked because it appealed to people in every region, class, religion, and ethnicity. The successful campaign led to the reaction of the British government and the imprisonment of over 60,000 people for making or selling salt without tax. The British opened fire on the unarmed crowd and shot hundreds of demonstrators. Gandhi was arrested in his sleep on the night of May 4, 1930. Eventually, the British government, represented by Lord Irwin, signed the Gandhi-Irwin Pact in March 1931, agreeing to free all political prisoners. Gandhi was invited to London as leader of the Indian National Congress. India won independence in 1947, followed by the Indo-Pakistani War of 1947 and the partition of India. About 1 million people died in the bloody riots until the partition was reluctantly asserted by Gandhi as the only way to stop the civil war. He urged the Congress Party to accept partition and launched his last Fast to Death campaign in Delhi, calling for all to stop violence. Gandhi also called to give Pakistan 550 million rupees in honor of the partition. He tried to prevent Gandhi was shot 3 times in the chest and died while on his way to a prayer meeting on January 30th, 1948. His assassins were convicted and executed a year later. The ashes of Mahatma Gandhi were split into portions and sent to all states of India to be scattered in rivers.